Nobody gets you ready for Utah football more than the KSL Sports Zone.
Ready?
The Utes get set for another huge Big 12 game as they square off against Cincinnati. Your home for the best coverage of Utah football is right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. You're listening to Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Join Hanson Scotty coming up next Tuesday at RGS Exteriors from noon to 3, 4235 Farm Road in West Jordan. Time to talk some Utes with Steve Bartle. Let's hit it.
Covering the Utes better than anyone else. This is Ute Insider Steve Bartle of KSLSports.com on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hello, Steve.
Hello, Jake.
How are you, buddy? Are you going? You going to be there for game day? I'm sure. Yeah.
Not like early in the morning because that's for like the crazies and stuff. But sounds like there's going to be a lot of crazies up there. So, but I'll be up there, and KSL Sports will all be up there, and looking forward to it. I'm actually headed up to meet with the college game day media personalities right now. So, looking forward to this weekend.
How is Utah faring with game day being here? It's the second time in 3 weeks they've played a huge game on national TV. They looked great against Colorado, not as good against BYU. How are they handling where they are right now in the season with this type of attention?
Yeah, obviously with the two previous big games with Texas Tech, BYU on the schedule, both of those were fought big noon kickoffs. Utah's 0-2 in those matchups, and I think this is an opportunity. ESPN College Game Day coming around this time. For Utah to get the monkey off their backs, essentially. With this game and with this setting, and Utah's done a tremendous job so far of taking care of business against the teams that they should take care of business against, and they've played tight against. Obviously, two of the top teams in the conference in Tech and BYU. And I think this is, a matchup against Cincinnati where the Bearcats are coming into this ranked 17, 7-1 on the season. They ripped off 7 straight wins. They're playing great football. This is the sort of win that Utah absolutely needs to have on the resume. And, in the conference title race, everything sort of hinges on this game. Whether Utah is going to have an actual chance at, making it to the title game or not, it all starts this weekend with Cincinnati.
I don't mean this to be a leading question in any way, shape, or form, but I'm curious to your answer. Who is their best quarterback on the roster right now?
Devon Dampier. Come on, Jake.
I'm just asking. Bird played well last week. That's all. And Ben's been telling me Bird's a better thrower. So that's all I'm asking.
It's a conversation, and I get it. Like, it's with the way that Bird Ficklin played last week, right? I think the most impressive thing beyond the second play of the game, him ripping off a 63-yard touchdown, the most impressive thing about how he looked was just the fact that, he looked like he belonged, right? He looked comfortable. He looked confident. It took him time to kind of settle into the game, right? He started 1 of 7. Got into the game. Once he got his nerves calmed down, he ended up going 9 of 15 the rest of the way, generating 140 yards through the air, 150 yards total. He looked fantastic. And, the offense was easier for him in terms of the passing game and what they were setting up. And he made good decisions throughout the night with the ball. And, he tried to force a throw or two, but I thought really, really he impressed with just how he conducted himself on the field all Saturday night. And, it was going to be important for him to be a true dual threat, and he was exactly that for Utah against Colorado.
Even if Dampier starts, which is what everyone's expecting, do you think they will find a way to get Bird on the field at all? Maybe give him some special opportunities to show what he can do or make plays with his legs? Or is he going to be purely a backup and be off the field?
No, I think it's going to be valuable for Utah to try and get him on the field a little bit more. And with Dampier, my expectation is he is going to start. He's going to be ready to go. And with Bird, now that you've seen him manage a game, a full game, well, I mean, 3/4 of a full game, you can now trust him to just execute some more typical options where, he came into games in situations in the past, and it was sort of predictable what they were going to do with him at quarterback and kind of leaning on the run plays and things of that nature. Now he's got a little bit more confidence. He's got a little bit more probably trust and faith in the coaching staff for him to go out there and execute things. And I think Utah will take the approach of trying to incorporate him. This is Dampier's team, but we can still sprinkle in a little Ficklin throughout the games moving forward. I think that's probably the approach that we see Utah take with this quarterback room.
As far as Cincinnati goes, their quarterback Sorsby is good. I mean, 20 touchdowns, 1 interception. His completion percentage is at 65. So tell me about Utah's pass defense right now. And I know everything about Utah's defense was great last week, certainly. But do you think they're vulnerable to Sorsby at all this weekend?
Sorsby's great. He was a quarterback that I really liked. And going back to last year, watching his film, felt really good about his game and what he was doing with the Bearcats. I just felt like there wasn't a lot around him last year to really help him win games. But in terms of just his ability to lead a team, I came away really impressed with Sorsby from last year. And now that they've added some pieces around him, I thought he was going to take a good step forward this year. I never thought this was in the cards for Sorsby. He's playing tremendously good football. I think he has a 20-1 touchdown to interception ratio on the year. He's added 7 more touchdowns on the ground. He is a fantastic quarterback. And what this offense does with Cincinnati, it's heavy RPO stuff, which sort of helps them eliminate the opportunity for defenses to get pressure on them. You look at some of the numbers in pass protection in Cincinnati, they've limited sacks to just 2 on the year. They've only allowed 2 sacks on the year with a very low pressure rate. I'm blanking on the number right now. But they do a good job of protecting Sorsby and getting the ball out of his hands quickly. And so for me, that's going to be a really important dynamic in this game, is disrupting the timing in that RPO stuff. And what we've seen from Utah secondary the last couple of weeks, we were having conversations earlier in the year about how rough Utah secondary looked. And over the last couple of weeks, I think they've really kind of come into form a little bit. They're still giving up plays here and there, but overall, you look at some of the efficiency numbers, and it's highlighted by what Blake Cotton is doing on the outside. He's somebody that we're not talking about enough, but I think he's allowed 3 receptions on, I think, about 13, 14 targets over the last 3 games, and is really doing a good job of just limiting the efficiency, limiting, conversions, receptions, and Smith Snowden continuing to play at a high level. And with him getting away from the offense and focusing more on defense, I think has allowed him to kind of focus on that, obviously, on that part of the ball. And he's elevated his game at cornerback as well. So, Utah's, I think, rounding into form in the defensive secondary. And I think that is going to be a big kind of determining matchup, is Utah's secondary and ability to disrupt timing versus Sorsby and this RPO attack.
Is Utah going to have to put up 30 points in this game? I mean, are we thinking this is going to be a shootout for the Utes, and is that something you think they're going to be capable of against the Cincinnati team?
Yeah, I think, you have to put respect on Sorsby and the way that Bearcat offense is performing. And I think, this is the sort of game where you're going to need to get to 30 points. And, for Utah, when you look at this matchup on their offense against this Bearcat defense, this Bearcat defense, they've got some playmakers. They've got some guys, particularly at linebacker. Jake Golday is probably the top linebacker behind Jacob Rodriguez at Texas Tech this season. Golday is playing fantastic football. He's a big body at 6'4", 240 pounds. He's doing it in all three phases, against the run, as a pass rusher, in coverage. He's really a guy that I think is patrolling the middle of the field really effectively for the Bearcats. With Utah's offense in this run game, it's sort of been, can these opponents stop the Utah rushing attack, right? It's up to the opponent to prove that they can do that. Texas Tech has been really the only team that's stopped Utah's rushing attack. So I think you feel good about that is Utah's run game. And Cincinnati, they play this 3-3-5. It's a bend, don't break type of defense where they're going to allow teams to put together drives and sustain drives, but they really tighten up in the red zone. So that's going to be the key. And Utah's been really good at sustaining drives, at putting together quality drives where they get into scoring position. This week it's going to be about how well do they finish in the red zone. So that's going to be the key. And I like Utah, how they match up. I do think you're going to need Dampier to get the passing game, to establish the passing game, to open up the run game a little bit, because you know that Cincinnati, after seeing Utah run for 422 yards against Colorado last week, you know that their game plan all week has been stop the run, and stop the run at the top of the game plan. So Utah's going to need the passing game to open up some lanes, to provide balance, and just to play complementary football in both phases of the game.
Picking through Cincinnati's defense, they can want to stop the run all they want. Doing it is another thing. Do they have because looking at specifically at their defensive line, Texas Tech's defensive line was so good. I don't know if Cincinnati's that.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the test for Cincinnati. They have a fantastic nose tackle in Dante Corleone. The Godfather is his nickname. He's a big body at 6'1", 330 pounds. He's in that 3-3-5. He's the nose tackle. He's the guy plugging it up the middle. And then, their athleticism, their linebackers are really important in kind of containing things on the perimeter. But when you look at how opponents have been able to run against them, there's been balance across the board, across the line of scrimmage, getting to the outside on either side, running it up the middle. And so you feel good about Utah's ability to establish the run and to run against the Cincinnati team. It's just, what is Cincinnati going to do? Because you know that they're not going to come in playing the same defense that they did against Baylor and against Kansas State and against some of these other teams, because it is all about stopping the run against Utah. So what sort of game plan do they come in with, and how prepared is Utah to see any sort of surprises, right? I think last week, Morgan Scalley's defensive game plan was fantastic. It was the right call because it was so aggressive, and I think caught Colorado by surprise. I think Utah needs to be prepared for something similar from Cincinnati this week.
You a YouTube TV guy, Bartle?
I'm not. No, I got Fubo. I've got everything I need on Fubo.
Because I would, if you were a YouTube TV guy, I would assume you're missing Disney Junior a lot right now. But since you're not, you're all right. Steve, we appreciate you and all of your fine work. Thanks for jumping on with us.
I appreciate you, Jake. Thanks, man.
Thanks, Steve.
That's our buddy Steve Bartle.
Just glad he put my name in there this time.
Well, he only said hello to me.
I know. The heck, pal.
What? Your feelings hurt?
Yeah.
A little bit?
Big time.
Oh, no, I think you should get over it. I don't think it. How about Steve saying that Dampier is the best quarterback on the roster and scoffing, probably the way I asked the question, but scoffing at the idea that he's not.
You have that much experience, he probably should be, and we saw a really nice performance, I thought, from Bird Ficklin against a truly terrible team in Colorado that was outmatched in Salt Lake City. I won't be surprised if Cincinnati also looks outmatched, not because of Bird Ficklin. I don't think we're going to see Bird Ficklin. And in fact, unless it is a 50-14 game, which I don't expect from Utah, though that is what their last 2 home games have been, I don't expect to see him, and I don't think Utah should put him out there. Don't put him out there if you don't have to. Don't risk guys that don't have to be risked, but just establish that Devon Dampier's your guy. You've got 3 more weeks after this, right? Not that many games left in the season. So just play him. He's your guy. You're fine. You've got to win this game, and I do think going into it, he's going to give you the best chance. I don't think you need to set up special series or anything for him. Maybe they will. Get him roll out. Get him to use his speed a little bit. Maybe he can wrong foot you with the throw, like you like to say. But if Dampier's your guy, Dampier's your guy. Go with him.
All right. I don't think it is as cut and dry that he's the better quarterback on the team. I mean, you can say if Dampier's your guy. I mean, I think the reasoning going into that is interesting. But I think if Bird's a better quarterback, then you would go with him. But maybe Witt doesn't think Bird's a better quarterback, which is fine.
I don't know if we've seen anything that guarantees that Bird's the better quarterback, unless you think just the big playability is there for him and it's not for Dampier.
I think it's more there for him.
I think it's possible. He might be faster,
And then if you combine that with he's a better thrower than Dampier, then I don't know why you wouldn't start him.
I will be curious again to see how Utah approaches the running game with the running backs and who gets those carries. Is that Wayshawn Parker, is it Daniel Bray, or is it N'Keary Rogers? Who are they going to go with? Because N'Keary Rogers seems to have fallen out of favor some, which was surprising because the last time Witt really addressed him was talking about how good he had become, especially in some of those short-yarded situations.
All right, Ute fans, it's time for another Utah keyword, your chance to win tickets to Saturday night's blackout game against Cincinnati. That'd be tomorrow. This hour, the keyword is crimson. Crimson. Text it to 57500, and you'll automatically be entered to win tickets for tomorrow night's game. That keyword again, crimson, all one word with no spaces. Text it to 57500 for your chance to win. And listen next hour for another keyword to increase your chances of winning, and we're going to pick a winner at the end of the day. So for more details or contest rules, go to KSLSports.com. We'll have more coming up next. Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Nobody gets you ready for Utah football more than the KSL Sports Zone.
Ready?
The Utes get set for another huge Big 12 game as they square off against Cincinnati. Your home for the best coverage of Utah football is right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. You're listening to Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Join Hanson Scotty coming up on Tuesday at RGS Exteriors from noon to 3, 4235 Farm Road in West Jordan. RGS Exteriors. Man, I hate Halloween.
You hate everything, yeah.
Yeah, I don't like holidays, really.
You don't like anything. What do you like? I've never once heard you be like, you know what I'm really excited for? Waking up in the morning, being alive, enjoying friends, family, loved ones, whatever.
Yeah, I don't like fun. I don't like happiness.
You don't like anything.
Well, that's not really how I roll. You know what?
Enjoying things?
I like Thanksgiving.
Okay. Well, good. Kenny J's is catering your Thanksgiving now.
That sounds pretty good, actually.
Yeah, it does sound really good. Kenny J's rules.
That doesn't sound
awesome.
bad, actually. But no, yeah, I kind of like Thanksgiving. I'm excited. I was excited to see my daughter in the parade today. Mm-hmm. I like that about Halloween. How's that? Like her big smile on her face.
Yeah, like that.
Show off her costume. I like that.
I am glad that you in your early 40s have started to realize that sometimes the joy in life is not about you specifically, but other people having a good time and you getting to enjoy that with them or for them. But you are the person who is furious when your friends' sports teams win games. So I guess it's not how you're wired.
Okay, furious is not the way to put it.
You're not happy about it. You are less happy when PK has a team that he likes, the Dodgers, and PK has every team. We get it. But whatever team you have a friend rooting for, winning, makes your day worse somehow.
No, I wouldn't say that it does.
Well, I've seen it. I've watched it. I've seen you come. Dodgers won. Guess I got to see PK's face this morning. Yeah, people get to enjoy themselves. Nothing makes you less happy than other people enjoying something.
See, you've hit on something that the reason I feel that way, well, not the entire reason, but I do get annoyed that people somehow like. Let me put it. I'm not happy for someone if their team wins. They didn't do anything. It's like, would you be happy for somebody if their favorite TV show took a weird plot twist? No.
Sure.
Like, they didn't do anything. It doesn't affect their life. In fact, that's part of why I do cheer against my friends' teams. You know what? I love PK dearly.
But you want to teach him a lesson.
The success
you want him to feel pain because you think it will make him a better person.
The success of the Sun Devils doesn't cause him pain. The success of the Dodgers doesn't cause him
But it absolutely does.
pain.
You're right. It doesn't cause him physical pain.
It doesn't cause pain.
It does.
And the fact that
people lose sleep, people can't function after their teams
they
lose.
shouldn't. That doesn't mean it's real.
Regardless, should or shouldn't, it does happen.
No, what it does is it discounts the meaning of the word pain. People who lose sleep over real things, I would never cheer for that. I would never cheer for something. I'm not
convinced of that either.
I would never cheer for something negative to happen in PK's life. Absolutely not. The same as I would not want anything bad to happen in Christian's personal life. But you know what I'm going to do? Cheer against his stupid donks. Because it doesn't matter. Because if the Donks win or lose, Christian still gets out of bed in the morning.
Say that.
Don't give me this pain stuff because it's not real pain.
Here's the thing. You can say that, but clearly it is. People get enjoyment and sadness out of their sports teams. They just do. You can say they shouldn't. You can say they can't. You can say it's not real. 100% clearly it is. It absolutely is.
Yeah.
People dedicate their entire life to this stuff. People dedicate all of their money and all of their time to this stuff. The number of buses, because I live in Salt Lake City, when I drive around and I see people with I've probably seen a dozen campers that are painted red and white for Utah that they take up to the tailgate. It's their entire identity for a lot of people.
Okay, but the team winning and losing does not affect their personal life. It does not.
Apparently it does.
That's
fine. It may not yours, but it does them.
It doesn't, though. It really doesn't. I'm sorry, but it really doesn't.
I don't know why you would say that, because clearly it does. So it brings people joy and sadness.
So last year, how many games did the Utes win?
5. Are
you telling me that there are Ute fans' lives out there that were actually worse off because the team sucked?
100% yes.
That's not real. It's not real. If you think your life is worse because your favorite football team lost, I don't know what to tell you. That is not correct.
Well, that is how they feel.
And if you're saying you feel pain over it, then I'm sorry. Have you never felt real pain? Have you never lost a loved one?
I think
have you never gone through something that actually causes pain?
I think that's also disrespectful to feel like people can't hold both things. Yes, because everybody's dealt with pain, because everybody's been alive, and living has
So if your team loses, I'm not going to feel bad for you, like as if you lost a loved one.
You're also acting like all pain is the same. Yeah, you're right. Losing your father is a much different feeling than Utah losing to BYU.
Cheering against PK's Sun Devils doesn't matter, and in fact, what you're talking about makes it more funny to me. Like if Christian were really shedding tears over the Donks, that would be funny to me. Yes, that would be funny, and I don't feel bad about it. If
I'm
you're
not
crying,
saying you have to feel bad about it.
If you're a grown man crying over a professional outcome of a sporting event, that's funny, and you should seek help.
I'm fine with that, and I'm fine with your opinion, but for you to dismiss it as not being real, that Christian cries every time the Broncos lose a game, it happens. We've seen it happen. Especially this.
And it's funny.
And that's fine.
Because it's not real pain.
It is real because it causes him to cry.
Dude, I don't care what causes Christian to cry. I've seen people cry because the stoplight turned red. That doesn't mean that I'm
not saying you have to waste time on it. I'm just saying you can't dismiss it that it's not real for people. It is real for people.
I've cried over opening the dishwasher to see clean dishes inside when I was just hoping to put my lunch plate in.
Sure.
And I've just lost it.
Sure.
Because the last thing I want to do is empty the dishwasher. That doesn't mean that my pain is real.
Yes.
That people should feel bad. Oh, feel bad that his dishwasher was full. Look at his tears.
Not everything has to be compared to whether or not you survived the nuclear Holocaust.
That's not what I'm comparing it to.
That is what you're comparing it to. It either has to be the worst thing in the world or it doesn't matter.
You're telling me that I should feel bad for somebody when their favorite team loses. Well, I'm telling you this.
I don't think you should feel any way for anybody, but you are dismissing people having actual emotions tied to sporting events. And they do. Clearly they do. It's a billion-dollar business. It's a multi-billion-dollar business. Of course people are emotionally invested. If they weren't, it wouldn't make money. We wouldn't have jobs.
Not my problem.
Kind of your problem.
Not in my personal life when I can cheer against my own friends' teams all I
no
want
one's
because
asking
it
it
doesn't
to be your
matter.
problem. And now you've lost it to the story of what you root for your friends for and against. It's the fact that you feel like nobody can enjoy things or should be able to enjoy things because you don't enjoy Halloween specifically, which is how this conversation started. But you dismiss it as not being real. It is real. Emotions are real.
Am I writing my congressman about canceling Halloween? No, I'm not. What are you even saying? Because I don't like dressing up and I don't like walking around my neighborhood?
I said you don't like anything. You don't like anything, including Halloween, because you can't enjoy that other people enjoy.
And I don't like the Filgerbacks, and I don't like the Sun Devils, and I don't like the Donks.
What's the backstory on Filgerbacks?
Because PK somehow has 3 favorite teams, and they're all National League teams,
The
and
Phillies,
2 of them are in the same
the
division.
Dodgers and the Diamondbacks. Okay, it's a portmanteau. I get it. I didn't realize that. Okay, that makes sense.
How do you have 3 favorite teams? Like he's riding high every baseball season because he's
good.
like, oh, my Filgerbacks
Every
are
night
killing
somebody won.
Every night.
That's a good way to pick life.
So I'm not going to cheer for the Filgerbacks. In fact, I'm going to cheer against the Filgerbacks. But you know who I'm cheering for in life? Patrick Kinahan.
Sure. But you understand that he can feel like his team winning makes him feel better, and you can enjoy that he feels better when his team wins.
No, he shouldn't feel better when his team wins. It doesn't matter.
That's the whole crux of this argument, is that people do feel better when their teams win.
Good for them.
And you're saying they shouldn't.
Oh, well, I'm saying that I don't have to feel happy for them.
No, you just said they shouldn't care. You shouldn't care if Salazar's Raiders win games.
No, honestly, listen to me. 100% serious. I mean, if your life is worse because your team lost, and I'm talking about legit worse because your team lost, you need to do some self-analysis. But I don't think that your average fan out there, just because they're bummed the day after their team lost, does not mean that their life is worse. It just means that their team lost. It's like somebody who's like, oh, I'm really bummed that season 5 of my favorite TV show ended, and I have to wait another year for it to start. I don't feel bad for you.
I think that's fair. And again, I don't think I'm asking you to feel bad for anybody.
When Christian's Donks lose, his life isn't worse.
No, it doesn't
he will be the
change
first to
the
tell you.
outcome of his
And when the Donks win, his
future.
life isn't better. It's just something he's invested in, went his way or didn't.
I don't
Now,
know.
I guess
think
if
those
you're
small victories are good. I think having good things happen in your life that you enjoy does improve the quality
Now,
of your
it
life.
would complicate matters if Salazar came to me and said I lost $50,000 on the Raiders. Now, that would complicate my feelings toward the matter. But just because the Raiders lose doesn't mean I have to feel bad for Lloyd.
I think that's fair.
Quite the opposite.
That's fine.
I'm pretty stoked the Raiders lost.
I'm not saying you have to root for or against anybody. I believe that people's quality of life can be altered by their sporting team. Whether it should or not is irrelevant. I just know that it does.
Our guy, Tony Parks, is the biggest Cubs fan I know. When the Cubs won the World Series, people were like, oh, I'm so happy for you, Tony. It's like, I'm not happy for you. You didn't do anything.
Colton on Twitter says, I was in the dumps for a good week after Super Bowl 51. It's still a sore subject. Yeah, it still hurts people. Absolutely. There are Jazz fans still hurt by Michael Jordan. That you could say if it's still haunting you 30 years later, it has affected the quality of your life.
Incorrect. And just because you remember something doesn't mean it's haunting you, please. He remembers an outcome that didn't go well for his team. What else is new?
Yeah,
it didn't negatively affect his life.
That's how grief works.
He wasn't on the road to homelessness after Super Bowl 51.
Well, I don't know what Colton did or didn't do about Super Bowl 51. I'd hope not. I'd hope that wasn't the beginning of a spiral. But he's still working.
It wasn't.
I hope
That's
not.
the whole point.
I think it can be for
The
some
whole
people.
point is
I
that-
don't think it ruins their life.
The whole point is that Colton is alive and well and snap talking the Jake and Ben show. And hopefully killing it. Having nothing to do with Super Bowl 51. I can't believe you're even arguing this. It doesn't make any sense.
I can't believe what you're arguing is that sports don't matter.
I hope that that's not what I'm arguing at all. I get why people like sports. I like sports. I get why people root, but it does not affect your personal life. It's a TV show. That's what it is. And so I'm not going to be happy for you or sad for you or anything. because it does not matter. I'm happy for you that you like sports. No, but I don't think there are literal lives on the line if Utah wins or loses the football game tomorrow.
But again, not everything has to do with about life or death of the aspect of it. That's the extreme you're taking it to.
Think of the ultimate depression after that loss. I mean, what is that going to lead to?
Well, you're the Bearcats fan. I think the Bearcats are going to lose. So I'm going to call you Sunday morning and make sure that you picked yourself up.
Totally concerned about my fellow Bearcat fans out there. Can you imagine? Imagine the depression if they lose. What could happen?
And they will survive. You're right. People will survive, win or lose, hopefully. But, yeah, the quality of people's lives is affected by this.
It is
the same
not,
way
the
quality
not.
of people's lives. Yes, it doesn't mean your life is doomed. It doesn't change your life forever. But the day-to-day, yes, absolutely it does.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. 100% it does.
So silly.
Just like people enjoying the holiday, which is where we started.
Stay tuned. More next. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Let's go! Complete game coverage of the Cougars is right here on the KSL Sports Zone. It's a much-needed off week for the Cougars as they rest up for the final stretch of the 25 season. Your home for the best coverage of Cougar football is right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. You're listening to Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Woo, 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 woo.
Two amigos on the airwaves, talking sports. They got it made, Jake's and on soul. Loves his tie-dye, Ben's got style with his scarves. Oh my.
Hey, Jake and Ben. Just wanted to share this story. When in Maryland a couple years back at a beach, I went with some family and took some beers and sat down next to the lifeguard and started drinking. And I got yelled at for having alcohol and drinking a glass bottle at a beach. And then they pointed at a sign, and all the signs said no alcohol and no glass. And my only response was, well sorry, I'm from Utah. So then I had to walk off the beach. But anyways, I thought you might get a kick out of that. Later, guys.
Thanks for the call in, Scott. I'm glad you had your clothes on.
Because, that was, in response
to the nudists that went to a non-nude beach.
And apparently either ignored the signs, like Scott. Is that who our caller was, Scott? Same thing, ignoring the signs. So, yeah, signs don't work for everybody.
First of all, I think you should be able to have a beverage on the beach, but the no glass on the beach policy, I'm actually very much pro that. For just as somebody with children, I think that's actually a pretty good policy. But you know what? It does remind me, Ben. Have you ever snuck into a sporting event?
I have not.
And I'm not talking like high school here. I'm talking like actual professional sporting event.
No.
I tried once.
Okay.
So we were at Wrigleyville, and we were across the street at one of the bars while the game was going on. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to go catch somebody coming out and get their ticket stub and then walk back in there. So somebody's coming out, and I was like, hey, can I grab your stub so I can go back? They're like, I don't know if that's going to work, but here you go. I was like, okay, thanks. I walk right up, walk right up to the turnstile, hand the guy the stub. And the guy just points, like for people on camera, the guy just does this. He just points up. And I look up, and there is the biggest sign you've ever seen that says, no re-entry.
Yeah. Sorry, pal.
And thus, my attempt to sneak into the game was thwarted. But anyway, that kind of reminds me of that. The lifeguard just pointing at the sign. Guy like, oh, you guys have a policy on this, eh?
Just my whole life as a skateboarder, because there's no skateboarding signs everywhere, and you just kind of have to be like, oh, I didn't see the sign. Sorry, I ignored the sign, because they are literally everywhere once you start looking for them. But yeah, if the cops come or anyone kicks you out, they're like, didn't you see the sign? That's your whole life as a young hoodlum like myself.
But just to point out to Scott, a can and a koozie will solve most of your problems there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ditch the bottle, though. That draws attention.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, let's get that glass off the beach. Ben, you and I both, I do. We make jokes about my Bearcat fandom, but I do think Utah should beat Cincinnati. this weekend. I'm hoping for a good game.
I won't be surprised if not only does Utah win, but it's not a particularly good game. I think Utah's just cooking at home. I think 8-15 games are hard. I think 8-15 games are hard for opposing teams. Cincinnati's a cold weather town, so they are used to playing in the cold. But I think it's hard. I think it's hard to travel. I think it's hard to travel on weird days like Halloween. You hope the Utah fans or Utah players, I guess, being home for Halloween, they're probably in the hotel already or will be tonight if they still stay up at the U, which I imagine they do for the walk. Get your mind right, focus, and pay attention. But man, those 8-15 games, that's got to stink for an opposing team. And come stay in the hotel and wait all day to go to the field.
And as far as the bye weeks go, I'm sure BYU's taking a chance to get healthy. And Utah State, how many, usually a bye week's a chance to relax. But since Broncos team lost to Broncos' old team and probably didn't make Bronco feel really good, do you think they're still running?
Yes.
You think they're still running wind sprints?
More than ever.
Coach, we were hoping we'd have a little day off during the bye week.
Nope.
Well, you shouldn't have lost to the Lobos then.
You think Nevada's taking a day off? They're not. So get ready.
On the line. Let's go.
No, I don't think Bronco takes a lot of days off.
You see here, I left New Mexico for Utah State. That means we don't lose to New Mexico because I left New Mexico for Utah State. Yeah. So get running.
It was tough. So, no, I think Utah should win. 10.5 points. I think it's probably right. And I would, I don't know. I don't gamble at all, so I don't want to pretend I'm giving gambling advice. It's not my job. I don't want to do it, but I would be surprised if it's that close. I'm just not a huge believer in what Cincinnati's done. Maybe I'm not giving them enough credit because of the opponents they played.
Do we know where they're setting up for College Game Day? Have we seen that? Is it the same place as Big Noon, or is it back in the parking lot west of the stadium?
President's Circle.
President's Circle, which is where they were, I think, the last time, right?
I think so, yeah.
So there you go, game day. If you have YouTube TV, well, sorry.
That'd be cool. It's always fun to have them here, whether it's Fox or whether it's ESPN, if you can watch them.
Which one do you prefer?
ESPN.
Any particular reason?
I think the talent's better. I think the quality's better.
The talent's better? Not a big Urban guy?
I like
Armpit.
Urban fine.
You love Armpit?
I just think they've been doing it a lot longer. They've kind of mastered this, and Big Noon is a copy. It's a replica of what ESPN's already doing, and generally the knockoff is not as good.
I don't know. I don't like Matt Leinart either, but to be honest, Kirk Herbstreit drives me freaking crazy. I'd watch anything other than that guy.
I'm
flipping on the infomercial.
Getting up early to tune in. I mean, I'm not pretending that I'm, it's not appointment television for me. But if I had to pick between the two, I'll take ESPN. Production quality's higher. A lot of things.
Lee Corso was entertaining, and now he's gone.
He had gotten washed. He was done by the end. That was pretty obvious. I like Saban a lot. Saban's the most interesting of all the people talking.
Well, that's probably true.
So I'll listen to Saban.
All right, stay tuned. Hans and Scotty G are coming up
Thanks,
next.
Christian.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.